Good morning and happy rainy Tuesday to you. Thanks for joining us on Cincy Lifestyle.
Yeah, Mona, good morning to you. Hey, I don't know which I'd prefer. The cold that you saw in that opening segment there, which, as you know, I really felt that day and I really hate as I look back at it. Or this deluge that we're receiving right now. I'm thinking I'm going with the rain because at least I'm warm.
You are warm inside, Clyde.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
yes, I think we prefer the rain.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Hey,
Well,
Clyde, a
go ahead.
lot of restaurants opening right now, aren't they? I was just gonna say a lot of restaurants are opening right now, but they're having trouble. Some
Yeah.
of them keeping that 6 foot distance.
Yeah, well, and right now, feeding people
And
outside too,
so,
because that's a huge problem as well. You talk about food, and so as we, ironically, we have something that sounds like it ought to be food related this morning, Mona, noodle hats. We're going to show you, and it goes to that conversation you had about food and social distancing. This is one way of keeping people apart. putting noodle hats on people's heads, and
uh,
you gotta stay separate.
That's right. I love that idea. I think that is really creative for whatever restaurant that was that decided new hats will keep that 6 feet of distance. So that was pretty good.
So you're saying you would go to a restaurant and put on a noodle hat for the joy of eating at a restaurant?
I would walk by and nod my head for their creativity.
Okay, all right, all right. So there's a
You
big
know what,
question.
Clyde? Something else going on. Is
Go ahead.
yeah, about how people are spending their stimulus checks. And which you would think some people thought that with the amount that you have, that it was a pretty good amount, about $1,200 or more for some people, that they would be spending it on cars or appliances or electronics, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're finding out, and this is a sign, Clyde, of the times that we're really living in, that people are using their stimulus check to buy food, pay rent, pay utilities, those kind of things. So um, it's not so. Saw actually a Mark Cuban on a TV yesterday. He was trying to encourage people to buy at stores, buy more things. But it's really it's kind of a catch-22 because you've got so many people who want to buy out to help the economy, but they are in need of helping themselves and their families by paying, for the basics.
Well, and also, Mona, there are some people who have been through the hospitalization experience with COVID-19 who are now facing the bills that come with that, and sometimes those dollars have to go to those bills or previously incurred medical bills. So yeah, it's difficult times, and the stimulus is there to help, and it's helping some folks at least a little bit, maybe not accomplishing all that we had hoped.
Yeah, but you know what? Things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. And when they get better, speaking of that, do you all remember last January when we followed a young couple who flipped a home in Price Hill? Well, they're back. Yes, the Hubers are back, and this time they are in Madisonville, and Allie Martin had a chance to document their family journey. Take a look.
You're wild.
You are wild. Oh my God. And sing.
It was 2019 when the Huber family flipped that first home in Price Hill. Wyatt was just a year old, and Courtney and Adam were new to the scene. And this time around, they chose a home in Madisonville. And you name it, they had to fix it. The driveway, the entire exterior, plumbing, electric, floors, everything.
This house has taken a beating to me personally. I took a splinter out of my forearm that was literally an inch and a half long. Broke my collarbone on falling off that window right there.
Injuries and all, they still managed to finish the project in 7 months.
Put the wall up back over there.
We built this thing from the ground up, and this has been going on a 5-year process now, just one, saving the money to do it, two, getting it done and just moving forward with it every day. And I feel like we did it all with me and her and the family, and overcoming, a lot of issues that, some people just give up on. We just work through them.
Flipping houses to begin with is no easy task, but together they're problem solving and learning along the way. And the key is they lead by example.
I mean, she sees what we do, so she mimics that. And
makes you feel good, honestly.
Yeah.
That I can see her try to and want to work and want to help out and go at it. I can't cut the grass at the house without her getting on the mower and sitting on my lap. She loves it, and I enjoy it as much as she does. I feel like probably more, because I can't get these times back. They're done and gone. So
Get some more. Come down here. Look, I missed a spot right there. Get it. You better wipe it good. There you go.
The fact that she can be here with me and help as best she can and want to be part of it, that's an awesome feeling.
That one or this one? Which one? That one. Yay! That's the one we like too.
What I loved in that last piece, you really said that she is your driving, motivating factor, and I imagine that's still the same, right?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
for
because
sure.
preschool's creeping up, and that's expensive.
Yeah. Also, another one's creeping up, so that's gonna be expensive.
Wait, is it like a baby number 2?
Yeah.
Wait, are you pregnant?
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Cheers to donut.
Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of moving forward, excited about life and the things that, are going on right now. And trying to take the positives out of the, negative situations that everybody's in. So if you just be optimistic and look at the bright side of stuff and keep moving forward, nothing can stop us now.
So Allie is here with us now. Allie, I got a quick question. This requires a lot of direct personal energy from the Hubers. Do they look forward to a time when they might be able to farm some of that work out?
Say that. So it's interesting, and a really, really good question. So they've been planning, and the power of the plan, right? They've been doing this for about 5 years now, and Adam has a history in contract work already. So over the last couple of years, they've been working to form and develop their contractors and a team that they can trust. But yeah, and they're also in a very interesting situation right now because they're deciding, do they want to buy another home? Where we are with our economy right now, they might kind of put that on hold, but this has been a great opportunity for them these last 2 experiences because they're hoping to move forward, and they're actually getting more calls for people to come and redevelop their own space that they live in now. So it ends up being a combination of them, being down and dirty, and if they need to get the job done, they know how to do it via their experience, and they also call on other people as well.
So, Allie, I don't know if you can hear me, Allie, but has this been profitable for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been profitable for them, and it depends on the neighborhood that they're in. So and also the first neighborhood that they sold, it was in Price Hill. It sold instantly, and so did this one. As you saw at the end of the video, sale pending, and they do make a profit out of it. But this is not to be taken lightly. When you see these home flips, people say, oh, it looks so glamorous, but it's a lot of work. So they are very strategic about the homes that they buy and how much they invest in, and why I mentioned before the contractors that they use is so important, because if they don't do it right the first time, they could end up spending more money. But they figured it out. They've been doing it for 5 years now, and they're on to their next adventure. And as you saw, they have another little one on the way.
Allie, just a little bit of time left, but I do want to touch on something you touched on earlier, and that is their view of the economy ahead and what that means for them.
Yes. Again, so they have mixed emotions about it. They're really, really positive. They're keeping their head up. I think they are going to pause and wait before they flip another home at this moment. And they're kind of going into homes who call on them to say, hey, we need some help. Can you refurbish my kitchen? Can you refurbish my bathroom? So picking up those smaller clients here and there rather than necessarily taking on a huge home, within the next couple months. They will do it again in the future, but right now that might be on hold for a little bit. And the best way to follow them too is to find them on Instagram, because Courtney does a really, really great job of keeping up on all of their projects, and that's at Huber_homes.
Okay. Allie, thanks a lot. Really smart strategy on their part. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie.
All right, coming up here on Cincy Lifestyle, we're going to salute our first responders and put their cooking skills to the test. So join us as we see what it takes to feed the firehouse in Florence, Kentucky. Then we go around the block to learn more about a fast-growing community. Going to tell you all about Fort Mitchell and all the charms this area has to offer. We got that and a whole lot more coming your way in just a few minutes.
Well, welcome back. Now, did you know that this is National EMS Week? Well, it's a time to appreciate all our emergency personnel, and I'm telling you, they're appreciated this year more than ever before. And we wanted to show you how proud we are of our first responders with a segment we call Feed the Firehouse. And today we stopped by the Florence Fire Department. Take a look.
The first stop on our Feed the Firehouse journey was Station 25 in Coleraine, where they cooked up a mean chicken salad sandwich and pork tenderloin. For round 2, we decided to cross the bridge into Florence to see what our Kentucky firefighters are bringing to the table.
We are currently at Firehouse Station 3 with Firehouse Station 2 team, and we're gonna be cooking up some
shrimp boil.
Shrimp boil today. All right, and this is Ryan, and he's gonna be our main chef, and he's gonna show us how it's done.
It is a very quick meal that we cook probably once a week. It has corn and shrimp, sausage, potatoes, and some lemons and parsley, some seasoning.
Let's start cooking.
The potatoes take the longest to cook. We use a very old pressure cooker, and we use it because it cooks everything really quick.
All right.
So we're going to cut up the potatoes. We're going to start them in the pressure cooker, and then we'll cut up the corn. And after 5 minutes of those cooking and the potatoes cooking, then we'll add the corn to it also.
This shrimp boil typically takes 45 minutes to make, and all meals have to be simple and quick when feeding a firehouse. The crew could be called out at any time, so every member is on standby, ready to take on kitchen duty.
Oven temp?
It's sitting at approximately 310 right now.
Roger that.
So 350.
Who's making the decision on what you're eating?
We just kind of talk about it in the morning,
Yeah.
or whenever someone's heading out to the grocery store.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of come up with ideas, and if someone has an idea, then they shout it out.
It's always family-style cooking in the firehouse, and the crews try to keep their food costs around $5 a shift, with the occasional steak night splurge. And with a wide range of palates, they stick to their staples and learn from each other.
One of the now retired guys named Jim, he taught me how to cook when I first started here at Florence. And so that's kind of something that we like to do with our younger guys is get them in the kitchen to help so then they can learn how to cook also.
How many young guys do you have right now who might be weak links?
We'll say one.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
Again, we're with Fire Station 2 at Fire Station 3, and this is the official taste test. I can dig it. Thoughts and feelings, boys?
Thanks for coming.
All right, let's eat. We're gonna eat like civilized people on the table now.
Yep.
Stay tuned for the next edition.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Allie. Now I'm hungry. Well, during the Civil War, Cincinnati was a tempting strategic target, so defenders erected a series of fortifications, he tried to say, to protect the community. Think Fort Wright, Fort Thomas, and think Fort Mitchell, a fast-growing community now with lots to offer just around the block.
The sign says it all. Welcome to Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. Sitting on 3 square miles of land, home to nearly 8,300 people, and growing. A mix of contemporary homes and the more traditional kind you'll find on shaded streets. Fort Mitchell started as a Civil War fortress built to defend Cincinnati. It got its name from General Ormsby Mitchell, a UC professor who designed the fort. This playground bears his name, a peaceful place for kids of all ages. Fort Mitchell straddles I-71-75. The colorfully named Buttermilk Pike exit is a major gateway to abundant shopping at malls both large and small. And food? Forget about it. Beale Street Cafe, a longtime local fixture, right next to the Asian place, close to the Grandview Tavern. More food, you say? Well, how about the renowned Oriental Wok, or its nearby neighbor Montoya's Mexican restaurant? Still more food, you say? Well, how about the Greyhound Tavern, another food fixture in Fort Mitchell? Which takes us to Dixie Highway, the other major artery in Fort Mitchell. It's where you'll find Herzog Jewelers, a well-respected, long-time establishment, and the Christian Store, specializing in religious items, alongside newcomers such as Big B Coffee, and Camparoso, which serves pizza and Italian chili. Yum! One more new place to point out, Braxton Brewery, recently opened. Want to work off all that food and drink? May we suggest Better Bodies or Exercise and Leisure. Also in Fort Mitchell, you'll find a place of quiet leisure, the Fort Mitchell Country Club, its history stretching back to 1908. And if you love dummies, the ventriloquial kind that is, Vent Haven is the world's only museum dedicated to ventriloquism, a must-see. So, if you're looking for a neat place to check out, may we suggest Fort Mitchell. It's easy to find, just around the block.
Thank you, Clyde. Well, if you live in Northern Kentucky, you probably have seen the iconic tower in Fort Thomas. But did you know that decades of military history was there? Well, we took a tour of the Fort Thomas Military Museum to find out more.
A lot of people didn't realize that Tower Park was a fort.
In doing research for the current exhibit about the anniversaries of the wars and the flu, I've looked at newspaper articles and found an interesting article in a weekly national magazine from 1895. This particular military installation was described as the most beautiful military reservation in the country.
And this is the only fort around. We have Fort Wright, Fort Mitchell. This fort actually still had all of these buildings, all on the historic register, and we wanted to create something that would draw people back.
We have so many items in our collection that we can't show them all at once. You cannot calculate the worth of having these items. The ephemera, the memorabilia, the artifacts.
We have a small bottle in our Spanish American exhibit, and inside of it is a bunch of little metal shards. And for the longest time we didn't know what it was. Those shards had been picked up by a family as they went on vacation back in the 1800s. They had watched the USS Maine being built, and as a souvenir they picked up those little metal shards and put them in this bottle and kept it in their china cabinet. Well, just a few years later the USS Maine was sunk, and that's what started the Spanish-American War. And that war was so important to this fort, and so that bottle means more to me than just about anything in this museum.
Colonel Harry Egbert was here, led the 6th Infantry out of here when they went to fight in Cuba. His family gave us his sword and a scrapbook that was made for his family. To have that in our museum is a treasure that can't be measured, cannot be measured. We are very proud of our veterans. We are especially mindful of those who didn't come back. We pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Those are critical things for our young people especially to know. War is not glamorous, it's not pretty, but people are willing to go to war to defend us, our nation, our values, our way of life.
Well, we'll be back with more Cincy Lifestyle on the other side of the break. Plus, have you checked us out on Instagram? Oh, you got to do that. We post all kinds of behind-the-scenes pictures from here on the set and while we're safely out in the community. So follow us now on Instagram at Cincy Lifestyle. We'll be right back.
A quick look outside today. If it's not raining where you are right now, just wait a few seconds. Probably be more rain. There's a lot coming our way today, so be advised. And coming up tomorrow here on Cincy Lifestyle, we'll take a look at an organization that connects you to music. We'll talk to the director of the Cincinnati Chamber Orchestra about how they're connecting musicians to the community and what's on the horizon, Mona.
All right. It sounds like it's going to be a great show tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. It was a great one today, too. That's Cincy Lifestyle for this Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you for watching. Make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video, and if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before, or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, we love to say it, make it a great day.